Okay, I want to use a quick screen capture video to help you format a works cited entry in MLA for a handheld magazine. And now, I ran into a little bit of a problem. If you know, you'll see that there is a video for how to do an online article. And by that I mean just a news article or just a, a post you might find at an open access website like Fox News or CNN.com or NPR.org or anything like that. Just, ReadersDigest.com, parroting.org or .com, whatever. You know how you find plenty of articles online that they're not a scholastic journal or anything like that. Alright, so I'm going to leave that video up because it can help you in the future figure out how to, maybe for a test that you have in this class, or if you have an online article source, that might help you figure out how to do that. But now, see, Ben & Jerry, Being Green at Ben & Jerry's by George F. Will, I used to be able to access it as an online site through the Daily Beast. So that was really the video you needed to watch because I wanted you to treat that as a magazine source. Okay. However, now it has disappeared from the web, and I'm very surprised by that. But if after 5 or 4 years of using this on the web as just an article, finally they took it off the web, off their archives. You realize it was published in 2002, so they probably, I don't know what they're doing, but it's gone. So what I went ahead and I found the information for Being Green at Ben & Jerry's as it was placed in the actual handheld magazine. So, just pretend you have Newsweek in your hand. It's going to be May 6, 2002. That's going to be the edition, the date. This is the title of the article. This is the name of the author. Now notice it's George F. Will, so you're going to have to include this. Don't just call him George Will. The first time you mention him in your writing, say something like in his Newsweek article, quote, Being Green at Ben & Jerry's, end quote, columnist George F. Will points out that, and then after that you can just refer to him as Will, W-I-L-L. Now the section was the last word, and that's the title they give to his little column. It's on page 72. All of it is on one page. Length is 1,021 words, and so there you go. Now, this is the actual article. And notice how the paragraphing stays the same. So, one thing that I'll kind of look toward as far as if you can refer to your quotes as a paragraph, that's very helpful, because if you just say 72, page 72, it's all coming from page 72, isn't it? So it would be even more specific if you were able to give paragraph numbers to these things, and maybe you want to print it out and then just on the margin here label it as paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and I'll show you how to do parenthetical citation for your critique in just a second. But this is how you would do the works cited. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Okay, it's about all I need. Copy it, and I have another file open. I'm going to switch to it right now. There we go, and I'll put it here. Now this is how I expect the works cited entry that you need to provide at the bottom of your critique to look like. Start with the author's name, last name, George F. period. Now open quotation marks. Sorry for the green. We're just going to have to work past that. But Being Green at small a here, because we're doing MLA standards, Ben, ampersand. Let's go ahead and keep the ampersand. That's what you call that, or the and symbol. Jerry's, period, closing quotation mark. Now the name of the magazine, but in italics. Okay. After that, no period, but the day it was published in British style. So British is day, month, year. So it's going to be 6 May 2002. All right. So make sure you see British style. Colon. All right. Then the page number. So it's going to be 72. Period. Then MLA nowadays wants you to put print. The 7th edition wants you to specify what type of source, medium, and it's a print source that we're using. So I want you to pretend you actually have the magazine. All right, and that's how you would that's how you would make excuse me, that's how you would make the works cited, okay, entry. Now, how would you actually do parenthetical citation? Okay, so you might want to say, you know, Will points out that. Now, I really don't know. Well, let me toggle back. Let's get something here. How about okay. Let's just go ahead and copy this. Go copy. Let's get back to what we're doing here. Okay, so you have a direct quote. Right now, actually, I would like to change this uppercase O to lowercase because it looks kind of awkward. So if I make any sort of change like that, I need to put in square brackets, and that would look like that. Over the past 3 decades, energy use has risen about 30%. Now, I know if you're using page numbers, you can just do that. Okay? I'm going to shorten the margin so we don't get this weird drop under. There we go. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Notice where the period goes. If you want to put Will, again, the last name of the author, that's fine. It's a little redundant, but I'm not going to count off for that. In fact, it's probably good practice. Now, the point is here, you will just need a white space, not something like this. Page, or that's wrong, or P, that's wrong, just a white space if you're dealing with actual page numbers, okay? Now, I want to suggest something to you, okay? This is what you would do for page numbers, and if you decide to do this, you know, I'm not going to be picky. That's technically correct. But the trouble is, every quote you have on your essay then is going to be coming from page 72. It just doesn't give a lot of specificity, which again, you're allowed to be that have that you know, broadness at play because you are technically doing it correct. But notice that your works cited entry is going to mandate a page anyway. So if it's only one page, why don't you take the opportunity here to cite by paragraphs, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and go back to this, and you'll see that this is paragraph 1, 2, 3, okay? So then, let's flip back to what we have. This, I'm just going to go ahead, and maybe we can do this. Paragraph 3, okay? So if you want to start calling them, situating the quotes in terms of paragraphs, it would be PAR period 3. But at that point, MLA does ask you to put a comma between the last name and the PAR period 3. So this is how you would do it correctly if all you had were paragraph numbers. Okay, now this is much more likely the case if you're dealing with an article that is really just online. They're not going to have page numbers there. They might have screen numbers, but you really should use paragraph numbers. And then you would have to count the paragraphs. For this case, you do have a page number because we're going to go ahead and treat it as a handheld source since I can't find it on the web anymore. But I would really like to see you be more accurate and more clear as to exactly where on the essay on page 72 the quote appears by putting in a parenthetical citation that uses paragraph numbers. That would show me you know how to deal with paragraph numbers. That would show me you would know how to put the comma in there, how to designate the page in your full cited entry, your works cited entry, the full source entry. Full source because it's the entry for the whole source, right? And this sort of thing is going to distinguish the A's from the B's in this assignment, all right? Because I know you may be watching the video. Obviously, if you hear me, you are. But a good 25% of the class will never see this video. And I'll look at their works cited, and it'll be just a figment of their imagination. So, you know, if you go ahead and do this, you're showing me, hey, I'm watching the videos, I'm paying attention, you're prepping me to give you a really good score. One last thing, please notice that MLA has a certain way to title titles, to capitalize titles. They would like you to drop it down to lowercase here, even though it's uppercase there, because this is the title given by LexisNexis, where I found this. So MLA 7th edition has a certain way to capitalize titles. You should just Google that. How do I capitalize a title in MLA 7th edition? See what you find. And notice that this title is in quotation marks because it's the name of the article. The name of the magazine is in italics. And this illustrates the part versus the whole idea in relation to the whole. When you have a source that itself is like the host for smaller things, like smaller independent articles, standalone articles, then you could realize this is the part, this is the whole. Now obviously the whole thing is a source, but how would you, because this has a title and this has a title, the title of the whole thing gets italicized. So the host source at Newsweek gets italicized. The title of the thing that is a part of the whole, just as there are many articles in this one issue, so this is a part of the whole, the title of this thing gets in quotation marks, not italics. All right. Well, I hope that this video has helped you a little bit here. Remember, I want you, because we can't find it online on the web anymore, just go ahead and use this document, the one that I attached, to read it and to cite from, and then please cite it at the end as a handheld magazine source, okay? Because it's identical. We got the page numbers, and everything is on that one page. Remember, see, all on one page. Here it is. I got this from LexisNexis. So, you know, we can just go ahead and say this is an exact copy of the page. I mean, not exact, because it doesn't have the graphics and all that, but everything this is how the paragraphing is, this is how the words are actually on that page. There's not going to be any surprise if you go to page 72 on the 2002 May 6th edition of Newsweek. It's going to be all there. So let's go ahead and treat it as a handheld magazine article. All right. Best of luck to you.